Hey everybody, we're back with Old Dirty Gamers. You got Richard Stanley, Eric Burruel, the incredulous Terry Hodge, and today the absolutely beautiful Mike, the cheese Goosens.
The absolutely beautiful Mike, the cheese Goosens.
Yeah. Bringing the class today. So we're gonna get right into it today. Gonna start off with what we got. Our usual beautiful Terry. Take it away with the.
All right. This is gonna be kind of a dead week after all. This is gonna be kind of a dead week after all. It's Thanksgiving. A lot of games are coming out. A lot of companies don't want to release anything at this time frame. Basically, they're wanting everything out beforehand.
My release
Friday deals already happened.
My releases get
definitely
slower.
The volume of this release. Definitely the volume of this release. Last week a little bit less. Last week was huge because we saved up so much. This week a little bit less.
Seems like your releases are always.
It
seems like a lot to take long.
That's true. Yeah.
And there's not a lot.
That's what I keep telling myself. That's what I keep telling
myself. I'm not right into it a lot. I want to preface it a lot. I'm not right into it a lot. I want to preface it a lot of these are just re-releases from Limbo came out for Xbox. Limbo came out for Xbox One. So you're gonna get a chance to play Limbo. Now you can play it with slightly better graphics for games.
Has
anybody played Limbo?
Yes.
Has anybody played Limbo? This is by real guys.
I don't know if it's really blurry and really dark.
It's really blurry and really dark. Not like.
So for those of you who don't know, Eric, can you so for those of you who don't know,
Limbo is a very artistic game.
Limbo is a very artistic game.
Wait, what? Why did you look at me?
Why did you look at me?
Oh, I don't. I think you can have an artistic game. I just don't think.
I think you can have an artistic game.
I would consider this game art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valid.
So it's about a little boy.
Valid. So it's about a little boy
horrendous
dies extremely horrendous ways.
Limbo, apparently.
Running through limbo, apparently. Looking for his
You kind of just get the gist of it once you go through
get the gist of it.
Spiders and stakes,
but there's
drowning,
spiders and
stuff like that.
Drowning
Steaks? Like food?
Like things.
Steaks?
Like
food?
Oh, maybe I did play that. Is it a little bit like? Is it a little bit like Prince of Persia, except you randomly die at times and you have to start doing stuff really good?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I played that for like 2 minutes.
It's very puzzle.
So the game is platform side is a single player.
None of that was mentioned
side
in the
scroller.
description, by the way.
None of that was mentioned.
It's a single player.
Single player.
It sounds at least as entertaining as Adventure Time.
Which some of us love.
Yeah, it's like a
Which some of us love.
All right.
Nothing like that. Anyway, nothing. Persona Q Shadow Labyrinth came out. Persona Q Shadow Labyrinth came out. Oh yeah, I love this. This one is just going to be another RPG. This one is just going to be another toss of much of a must play unless you haven't played. Much of a must play unless you haven't played any of the other ones. I'd definitely play it, but I'm not going to lie. I'd definitely play it.
What about Limbo? Would you give that a buy or rent?
Would you give that a buy?
You get one buy? How about you?
I'll
give it a I don't give a shit.
If it's like $10,
I'll give it a I don't give a shit.
If it's like $10 on
Mike, what do you think?
I'm not spending more than $10.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think? Would I buy Limbo?
Okay. Absolutely buy all the way down to.
Absolutely buy all the way down to.
The next release was for Wii U and PS4. Next release was for Wii U and PS4. Thomas was Xbox One. Thomas was
about the Taken?
Was he all by himself?
Was he all by himself?
Will you feel alone while you play this game? Will you feel alone while you play this game?
One thing I do when I'm alone.
He wasn't.
Honestly, I don't know anything about Thomas Alone.
You know Thomas Alone comments on it. Tell us about it, and then maybe we'll play it. But right now, no one's playing it.
Unless you tell us to. If you tell us to, we'll give it a shot. Unless you tell us to. If you tell us to, we'll give it a shot. Next up is Geometry Wars for PS4 and PS3.
You have a big thing, then. Don't you guys say you would play? You have a big thing. Tell us about Geometry. I don't think any of us know about it.
Tell us about Geometry. I don't think any of us know. That is a hard charge.
Geometry Wars is like acid.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So you shoot
It's a game that's awesome. It's a game about getting as high of a score as possible. It's a very simple game. It's just that it's visually pleasing.
Can you say that again, like, but look at the camera with your hands?
Can you say that again, like, but look at the camera with your hands?
Oh, sure. So
that was visually pleasing. He's good with his hands, folks.
He's good with his hands,
multiplayer, and you can play it
How was the
online.
music?
It's really good.
How was the music?
The music is fantastic. If you like electronic music and you like the dance,
Look at the electronic persuasion.
I'm actually going to check it out.
He's gonna get it on his phone.
I'm actually going to check it out.
He's gonna get it on his
Our next release is going to be
Let's see.
Our next release is going to be Oculus Rift.
Does anybody except me? I know we talked about it earlier off camera. Does anybody but me know what this game is?
No.
Although that game would be whacked out.
Although that game would be whacked out.
For those of you who haven't heard about this game, it was it's lauded in Japan as being particularly physically accurate because they go through and they actually got the rights to use all of the different shops, icons, and visuals for every single store that's in Akihabara.
For every single
store
store that's in Akihabara.
It's the big electronics nerd center, nexus, if you will, of Tokyo. So every nerd is born and dreams of someday going there and rubbing themselves off in anime stores.
That's 100% accurate. I dream of going there.
That's 100%.
I have done.
I dream of
Actually,
going there.
yeah, that's how I'm stable now. Previously, I was very touchy.
That's how I'm stable.
Had my hot release. We're still
over.
So the point of the game, though, is other than the fact that it's awesome because it's very accurate in place, is that you basically beat the crap out of vampires so that they're naked enough in the sun for you to destroy them. Because the close protection from the sun.
It's the name Undead and Undressed.
It's the name Undead.
So
Is this a third person kind of game?
it's like it's sort of over the shoulder and it's kind of
It's like it's sort of over the shoulder and it's
kind
kind of
of
older.
Look at
Probably
cel shading or
put it
something
on a
like
phone.
Looking at
yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, cell shade is probably a good
Maybe a little bit.
description for it,
Cell
but
shade
it's
is
very
probably a good
weird.
description for it.
But I don't know. I liked it because I've been there.
But
You're like, oh, I can pretend like I'm going shopping, and then
you're like, oh, I can pretend like I'm going shopping.
strip down some vampires.
I'll
Strip
check it
down
out.
some vampires.
Japan is always good.
Weird
nudity in
is
general.
always good.
Weird nudity in general.
Let's get weird.
Our next hot release is going to be Aqua Kid.
Our next hot release
Milk,
is going to be
Mine,
Aqua
Defender
Kid.
DX.
Milk.
I don't know
Mine,
I love these
Defender
ridiculously
DX.
long names.
I don't know.
I love these ridiculously long names. It's for PS3 that we're
For
getting
the
for
past couple of weeks, in case you haven't
because for the past couple of weeks, in case you haven't noticed, PS4 is look like hot release.
Not really. PS4 doesn't have anything you want.
No,
I feel like we should clarify that it's like
I feel like we should
milk mines, like
clarify
mines
that
made
it's
out
like
of milk.
mines.
Yes.
Not like Milk
Mines
Mine
made out of
Defender.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Not like
We didn't
Milk
mean
Mine
Like Mein Kampf.
Oh yeah,
Milk
we didn't
Mein
mean
Kampf.
A place where you mine for milk.
a place where you mine for milk.
So you probably play on a huge
Yeah,
tit. Like
so
if I had to
you probably
guess,
play on a huge
that's
tit.
probably
Like,
what it is.
it's like-
Side school.
That's probably what it is.
Shooter
Side
of
school.
milk. We're gonna move right along. There's a
We're
classic
gonna move
release
right
for
along.
PS4
There's a
coming out
classic
for
release for your
called
PS4
Boxing.
coming out for download.
Boxing.
Called
I wonder what this game is about.
Boxing.
I love me some
what this
pugilism.
game is about. Came
I
out for
love me some
PS1
pugilism.
Years and years ago. I don't know why they keep releasing some.
I don't want to.
releases.
There are very few PS1.
I don't want to.
releases
There are
that
very
come
few
out for,
PS1 releases
PlayStation that
came
want
out
to play
for,
unless they're weird.
PlayStation that want to play
hard to
unless they're
find.
weird or
Because why would I want to play this game when like
why would I want to play this game when like so
I'm
many
excited
better
about the next
boxing
one.
games?
Oh yes,
I'm excited about the
Pocket RPG.
Oh yeah. Pocket RPG.
I mean, Pocket Rocket's not enough. Pocket RPG is way more legit.
Pocket RPG is way more
It's
legit.
role playing for your pocket.
That's just.
Exactly. It's role playing for your pocket.
That's just.
We've all been waiting.
I feel like when they were thinking about it,
I feel like when they were thinking about it,
like we could just call it like Pocket
Like, we could
RPG.
just
Nobody
call it
sat
Pocket
there and
RPG.
said,
Nobody sat there and said,
"Is that like?" Or did we just
Is
name,
that like-
name a game jerking off?
Yeah,
No,
Role-playing game.
no.
Play the role
No.
every day.
It's a role playing game.
No.
You play the avoidance.
Dick rolls.
It's coming after you constantly.
Dick rolls.
It's coming after you constantly.
Oh,
You
like
gotta
that
use
thing that
strategy
Legends
to
of Zelda
avoid
like
it.
the past. It was like
oh, like
Kansas
that thing
kind
in
of-
Legends of Zelda.
Oh yeah, man, that was great.
Oh yeah, man, that was
great.
great. Man.
That's what nostalgia all over my pockets was Pocket RPG.
Okay, I'm gonna breeze through some of these because I don't know what they are.
Okay, I'm gonna breeze through
PS4,
some of these
games
because I
called
don't know what they are.
Speakeasy coming
PS4,
out.
there's a game
And
called Speakeasy.
if it's a game where you run a speakeasy,
If it's a game where you run a speakeasy and it's like a kind of an
right now,
RPG,
that'd
you
be
bring
fun.
people in,
I have to
throw
imagine
cops
that you
right
would
now, that'd
do
be
that.
fun.
I have to imagine that you'd be a dead.
He runs a bar.
Absolutely.
If anybody doesn't know,
He runs a bar. If anybody
Oh,
doesn't
check it out. Lots of video games, good stuff.
Probably
Check
check
out
out
the
time
videos.
every time I go there.
The drinks are especially
Every
good.
time I go there.
The drinks are
good.
especially good.
The staff is super nice too.
They do
They're
for
really-
us.
they're
The
not
staff
just
is super
like-
nice too. They're really,
Really?
absolutely.
Really
Yeah,
good.
it is.
living
Hot
in-
chicks too.
Oh, there are
Hot
always
chicks,
chicks
too.
there every time I go.
Oh,
which is
there
odd.
are always chicks there. every time
Ask
I go,
for
which is
Trish.
odd.
Do you notice chicks there when you go
Ask
there?
for Trish.
Just people.
Do you notice chicks there?
Yeah,
Is it just people to you? He doesn't see it.
I don't
Sex.
see
He doesn't
I
see
don't
sex.
see gender. I just.
All resident feminists, ladies and gentlemen.
All resident feminists.
Moving right along, Tales of Borderlands came out.
Moving right along, Tales
Apparently
of Borderlands
people are
came
liking
out for
that.
PC.
Yeah?
It's hot here.
People are liking that.
Yeah,
I played
it's hot
Borderlands
here.
1 and then I tried 2.
I
and
played
the
Borderlands
pre-release
1
was
and I
alright.
tried 2.
No, I like
Pre-release
2 a lot. There's
was
some
alright.
interesting
No, I
stuff.
like 2 a lot. There's some interesting
Kind of
things you can do there.
The thing I read about it was it could have been done really bad.
The thing I read about it was it could have been done really bad, but it was done really well. But
I don't know. I think Borderlands is one of those games that's
I think Borderlands is one of those games that's heading steadily towards the need for a paradigm shift. They need to change something and bring something new to get me to play it.
There's like ice
Because-
guns. You can jump really high. That's totally not like Unreal Tournament.
Oh, you can jump it.
Yay!
There's something more. It needs to have that.
There's something more.
change.
It just needs to have that big change.
A lot of the same.
New players.
Now we have guns.
A lot of
that
the
shoot guns.
same. No, now we have guns that shoot guns. Now we have guns that shoot
I could
guns.
Guns that shoot guns. Guns that shoot people.
Guns that shoot
You got a gun that shoot out.
It'd be cool if you got a gun that would shoot out clothes, like things would change the
Like, if you
clothes
make
of the
the,
characters that you're
Borderlands
fighting.
guy
Like if
also
you
wears
make the
suit or
like
something.
Borderlands guy also wear a suit or
It doesn't
something,
do
or
any
women's
damage.
clothes or
It
something.
would be fun.
It doesn't do any
Something you can
damage.
add to.
It would be fun. It'd be something you can add to be.
Moving right along to a title that actually has a lot of.
Moving
buzz
right
around
along
it.
to a title that actually has a lot of buzz around it.
Mighty Final Fight.
Oh yeah.
Fight.
Oh yeah.
You.
Yeah. You remember that game, Mighty Final Fight?
Have you ever played Final
No,
Fight?
Mighty Final Fight. So Mighty Final Fight came out because everybody loved Final Fight, but when it came out in the arcade, the only home systems were NES. So they obviously couldn't put Final Fight on the NES because it wouldn't work. So they came up with this super deformed version of Final Fight where everybody is. See if I can pull up an image here for you guys. And if you're old school gamers like we are, you'll remember this. It had like Guy. Do you remember the blonde dude's name? Cody. Look at you. Oh yeah, he's in the newer Street Fighter games, right?
Yes, he is. He's very popular.
Hagar.
You're right. Almost exclusively, we were deciding. What was it you said?
What was it you
A
said?
person who did just wrestling could never become mayor.
Yeah, that's weird.
Never become there. Yeah, that's weird. I couldn't.
Well,
see.
I feel like Doc. Sometimes you feel like Doc Brown.
I feel like Doc.
Sometimes you feel like Doc Brown. Where you're like,
in
who's the president?
1985. Ronald Reagan.
The actor?
Oh, that's so plain.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Oh, my God.
Ronald Reagan is considered to be one of the best presidents of the past 30 years by a lot of people, and he had no qualifications. I mean,
Somehow we did like
Somehow we did like 6
Final
degrees
Fight
of
to Reagan in
separation.
no time.
I'm just gonna float this up into the screen.
Just gonna float this up to the screen.
Did this game look like River City Ransom? I was looking at
Yeah.
some images online.
You have to really have to see it
You have to
because
really-
I'll get rid of that
you really
image
have
now. I
to
just
see
want you
it
guys to see that
because-
craziness.
I'll get rid of that image.
You have to see it because they
you have to
redo
see
the
it
opening.
because
So if you remember the
they
classic
redo
Final
the
Fight
opening.
opening
So
where
if
it's
you remember
like
the classic
Hagar's
Final
in his
Fight
suit
opening
and
where it's
he's
like
not like
Hagar's in
sitting in
his
the mayor's
suit.
office with
He's
his
not like-
next up.
he's not like
He's
sitting
in
in
his
the
suit
mayor's
and he
office
calls,
with his
"Hey,
next up.
somebody stole
He's in
my
his suit
daughter."
and
And these
calls,
two
"Hey,
dudes who are
somebody
just
stole my
hanging out in
daughter."
the gym
And
were
these
like,
two
"Oh, we
dudes
gotta
who are
save
just
Jessica."
hanging
Well,
out
this
in the gym,
one,
like, "Oh, we
he
gotta
like
save Jessica." Well,
flies
this
out of
one,
the
he, like,
window and like heads
flies
down
out
there
of the
ripping his shirt
window,
off on the
like,
way,
heads
and then
down
goes
there
into the
ripping
gym
his
and he's
shirt off
like,
on the way, and
"They
then goes
stole
into the
my
gym,
daughter."
and
And
he's
they're
like,
like, "Jessica!" They're like super deformed. It's all weird.
Like super deformed. It's all
If you
weird.
really like classic sides
If
roll beat 'em
you
ups,
really like
they don't get any
classic
better
sides
than
roll beat 'em
like
ups.
Final Fight.
They don't get
Maybe-
any better than
maybe
like
Double
Final Fight.
Dragon.
Maybe
was
maybe
the
Double
same level,
Dragon
but
was pretty
Final
was
Fight
the same
really
level.
Very similar,
But
actually.
Me, Final Fight
It's
is
like a
really
slight
nice.
upgrade.
Yeah, like 1-for-1. I enjoyed both. I like
Yeah,
those
like
games.
1-for-1. I enjoyed both. I like those
with my nephews
I
and
like
the
to play
younger generation.
Games
with
made
my
more than a
nephews and
decade.
the younger generation.
Yeah, it's still good. It still holds up.
Yeah,
to me.
it's still good.
What
It
it was
still,
going
it still
for,
holds up to
nailed
me.
it perfectly.
What it was going
Like
for,
it was
nailed
very
it perfectly.
frustrating though. It didn't
Like
have
it was
continue
very
on it.
frustrating.
Or it didn't have
Double Dragon?
It had no.
Or it didn't have
Final
Double
Fight.
Dragon.
It had
It
only
had
like
no
3
Final
continues
Fight.
and then
It
you're
had only
fucking
like
done.
3 continues.
And so you'd be like,
and
"Oh,
fucking
God, I
done.
got to the second
And so you'd be
boss.
like,
No,
"Oh
no."
my God, I got to the
That's how it
second
used to be.
boss. No,
Now all you kids are
That's how it
pampered
used
with
to
your
be.
continues and
Now
you're
all
on
you
the
kids are
lives.
pampered
And your
with
auto
your
save
continues.
points and your
Auto
auto
save.
kids darn
Kids
auto
darn
save.
Kids
Dick.
darn
You
auto
don't need a
save.
code system. It's like
You don't
32
do
characters.
Oh, man.
You have to write down within about
So much
10 seconds.
You have to write down within about 10 seconds.
Oh, no!
That's the only way to get back to react.
Oh, no! That's the only way to get back to reality.
Castlevania 3 was like that. It was like whips and hearts and stuff, and you had to, oh yeah, absolutely. That,
If you put that in the wrong place, it would launch.
If you put that in the wrong place, it could launch a few videos.
I don't know if you remember. Did any of you guys play that Prince of Persia game that came out for PS2?
Prince of Persia game?
Was it PS2? I think it was just called Prince of Persia.
Was it like the remake?
Just
or
called
like
Prince of
the
Persia?
classic?
It was almost a reboot.
It was
not
it was
the same line
almost
as
a
the rest of
reboot.
the
It was
ones.
not
But you
the
played
same
this guy.
line
You
as the
started
rest
in
of the
a
ones.
you started
You
off
played
in
this guy, you started in
a desert, and you were
started off
calling
in
for
a-
Pharaoh, which was the
a
name of the
desert,
princess
you
you
were
were
calling
saving
for
all
Pharaoh, which was the name of the princess
the
you were
main
saving
lines
all
of the
the,
3D ones that they did. But it
the
turned out to be like
main
his
lines of the
donkey or
3D ones
something.
they
So it was
did.
this
It turned out
huge
to be like
joke.
his donkey.
But that whole
Nice
game.
job.
But that
The whole game you couldn't
The whole
die.
game-
So if you were
the
doing
whole
one of the
game
run
you
jump
couldn't
things where you had
die.
to
So
jump
if you were
here,
doing one of the
climb here,
run
jump there,
jump
and you
things where you
fell,
had to jump
the
here,
girl would
and
just
you
pick you up
jump
and put you
there,
right
and
before
fell.
it.
The girl would
So you
just pick
could
you up and
never
put you right
die
before it.
ever.
So you could
That was
never die.
where I really kind of gave
That
up.
was where I really kind of
And it sounds like terrible. For all those Dark
And it
Souls.
sounds like terrible. For all of us Dark Souls 2 fans.
That is the exact opposite we want. We want to run
That
and
is the
die and
exact
start all the
opposite.
way over.
We want to run and die and
Build
start all the way
ourselves
over
back
with
up,
no
die
abilities
again.
and build ourselves back up, die again and again and again.
Life is death.
Life is
Shrek is
life.
life.
Is death.
Life is death.
Shrek is life.
Moving right along. Our next PC
Moving right along,
release
our next PC release is the Witcher adventure game, which is now letting them one of the
What is the adventure
The Witcher
game?
is
Is
now
it- what's it
letting-
mean?
What is the adventure?
Adventure. The Witcher Adventure Time?
Yeah,
The Witcher.
The Witcher Adventure Time?
Yeah, adventure.
Well, imagine the Witcher Adventure Time, man.
Oh, imagine it was a Witcher Adventure Time.
Close your eyes.
Just imagine it.
Oh my
Close your
God.
eyes and hold your heart. Yeah, there's a bunch of PC games. Yeah, there's a bunch of PC games. So I don't really play too many PC games. It's a lot of time to have a great number.
Rig.
It's a lot of time
it's a
to
rig.
spend.
It is a rig.
Yeah, it's a rig.
It's a rig. And if somebody
It is a rig.
hooks it up, then you call
It
them
is a rig. And if somebody hooks it up, then you call
I
it a
don't know about
rig.
them power
Gamer
supplies.
hipster.
I don't know about them power
Gamer
supplies.
hipster.
The next PC release we have.
Oh my god.
The next PC release we
Raven's
have
Cry.
is Raven's Cry.
Is the motherboard a boss?
This keeps releasing like side games. This keeps releasing these like side games.
Somebody's got
some
it.
companies
Like I
making.
said, it's gonna be a thing.
Somebody's got it. Somebody, like I said.
Next is Get Close for the
Next
Wii U.
is Get Close for the Wii U.
Yep. It's called Get Close.
Yep.
It's got a
It's called Get Close.
Glenn Close.
It's got a pink.
You can make a
That's the
custom
difference.
controller.
It's actually more expensive.
That's the
than
actually.
the
It's
game
actually
breaks
more
out.
expensive than the game, and the game breaks out.
Wii U. Go buy one for Smash
Wii U.
Brothers.
Go buy one for Smash Brothers. They got
got the
the
Wii system, the Wii network.
What do they call the Wii system? The Wii network.
Wee.
No, the network where you go online to buy stuff for them.
No, the network.
It's just a Nintendo store.
Nintendo store.
Is it
The
Wii?
Nintendo store
Nintendo
now has
eStore.
Mario.
The Nintendo store now has
Is it
Mario
Wii?
pinball.
Is it Wii?
Is that okay? I thought maybe they were releasing new Game Boy Advance games, and I was like, I just don't get
No,
into
no,
it.
no.
I mean, there's so many
There's so many
titles.
titles.
I mean, there's so many
Things
fewer
that
titles that are coming out
download.
now. We have to announce things that you can download on.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Also, Retro City Rampage DX.
Also, Retro City Rampage DX is coming out.
Somebody likes
That's a
that.
lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Somebody likes that.
Yeah. Did you play the retro
That's
one?
really cool.
Yeah.
I never played the
That's
original,
really
but I
cool.
played this. And I liked
I
it.
never played the original, but I
Never
played this and I
played
liked it.
Never played the original. No.
Like not even in the arcade.
No, man, I didn't really start playing games until I was like 12.
No, man, I didn't really start playing games until I was like 12 years old. I read books.
What a jerk.
What a joy.
What a joy.
What a joy.
Oh,
It's like
This guy over here.
It's
The glasses.
This guy over here.
Fancy
It's
four
like
eyes.
Glasses.
Yeah, look at
Fancy
anyway.
4 eyes.
Anyways.
No, thanks.
Not doing it now.
Next
Can't
is
all be hipsters.
Boom Ball
Next is,
for Xbox One.
Boom Ball for Connect for Xbox One. So you can have your Connect, you look some new titles to play. There's something called Boom Ball.
Game for Connect. So try it, you'll enjoy it for 7 minutes.
So try it, you'll enjoy it for 7 minutes.
Bro, you're connected anyway.
Bro, you're connected anyway.
That's
Why do I
really all
smell
the releases that came out
That's
this week.
really all the releases that came out
Next week.
There's a couple things coming out next week.
We
We'll
talked
talk
about the last time.
Oh,
I can't wait to
We'll
play
talk about the last time. I can't
There's
wait
gonna
to
be
play
Let's
it.
Plays of
Super
that.
fun.
No?
Keep in mind,
Whoa! Kingdom farts. Give me some skin on that slick verbiage, sir.
Get on that slick verbiage, sir.
What don't you like about Kingdom Hearts?
But Keyblades.
What do you like about this?
Disney
But
characters.
Keyblades.
Are you anti-Disney?
Disney.
Why are you anti-Disney?
Man.
Just all together.
I really just don't like Disney. I like
What is it about Disney personally, other than
What
like
is
that
it
he
about
hates
Disney
Jews?
personally, other than like that he hates you?
Oh, today's the day.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Not just I don't like the characters. I always thought the cartoons were kind of dumb. And I watched my old roommate play. And then I watched my old roommate play Kingdom Hearts over and over again, and I was like, this game's childish.
I have to say, he's not officially a GlitchSlap person, so all you people out there are going to flame. You can go to michael.goosens and dickhole.com. That's fine.
You guys are all.
So I have this Kingdom Hearts tattoo.
I
don't.
Oh!
I don't.
I know. Only tattoo I have is
It took 9 months to get it on.
Took 9 months to get it on. It's a gift from my
They
father.
got it for me for my first birthday.
I asked for one of those, and my dad couldn't make it
I asked for
happen.
one of those. My
It
dad
just came out a little too.
He got you a little bit. Just like
It came out a little too.
He got you a
Yeah, I
little
know.
bit.
Irish, the
Yeah, I
Barbican
know.
of races.
Iris, the Barbican of race.
So I really like Kingdom Hearts. The counter your argument.
So I really
Yes,
love
it is-
Kingdom
it
Hearts.
is made
Counter
for
your
children.
argument. And yes, it is made for
I think anyone
children
of all
and
ages
pedophiles.
likes.
I think anyone of all ages that likes.
He's a little boy.
There's
There's time to put his shirt off.
There's time to put his shirt off.
I feel a show coming on.
Do a show coming on.
Today we're going to talk about racism in video games. Next week, it's little boys in video games.
Little boys in video
Pokemon.
Here's why I think everyone should try.
Here's why I think everyone should try.
It's not a
If you
gameplay
don't
style
like
that
it, then
suits
don't play it.
everyone.
It's not a
Outside
gameplay
the
style
featured
that
Disney
suits
characters,
everyone.
which everybody
Outside the
knows they love
featured Disney
because they like
characters, which
Tron.
everybody knows
There's
they
a
love
Disney
Tron's
because
in
they
it.
like Tron.
Yeah, you can play
There's
as
a Disney
Tron's in
character. Yeah, you can play as in the Tron.
That one good thing is not working.
That one good thing is
It's a great action RPG.
It's a great action
gameplay styles
RPG.
for everybody, and lots of
Gameplay
nostalgia, and it
styles
has
for everybody, and
Final
lots of
Fantasy
nostalgia,
characters
and it
in
has
it too. And now with them owning Marvel, who knows what they could
And now with them owning
I mean,
mean, there's a lot of
Hopefully they
opportunity
can
there
also-
for them to
I
really
mean, there's a
branch
lot of
out for the
opportunity
next
there
game.
for them
I think
to
it's a
branch
game
out for
anyone
the
can
next
hop
game.
into it.
I think it's a game anyone can hop into with any section of the game parts.
It's still have a good time. You need to understand what's going on.
It's still have a good time.
Kids,
You understand what's going on.
There's something to be said for the
It
fact that
It
Kingdom
doesn't
Hearts
make any
could
sense.
possibly
The
feature
fact
Marvel
that
characters
Kingdom
and
Hearts
Star
could
Wars
possibly
characters
feature
at this point
Marvel
because they are
characters
all
and Star
are
Wars
all
characters.
owned by Disney.
I mean, I'm already looking at like lightsaber.
I mean, I'm already looking at like lightsaber keyblade.
I mean, you're disapproving face, I understand.
I mean, you're
It
disapproving
has
face.
action. It has RPG.
It has action.
There
It has
has-
RPG. It has something
There has been
from-
argument in the
I'm
new trailer.
pumped.
There has been argument in the news.
Yes, actually, there was a keyblade.
There's a keyblade in there.
Yes.
We promised we were going to talk about it.
Yes.
We tried to
No?
Well, we've all walked back to our car.
But we've all walked back to our car with trees between our knuckles.
Wolverine style. That's what I was
But really, next week there's not a whole lot coming out. So we'll
really
talk
next
about
week
that
there's not a whole lot coming out.
But
So we'll talk
that's
about
Terry's
that.
hot release. I look
But
forward to doing these
that's
every
Terry's
week with
hot
you guys.
release. I look
Hopefully
forward
we'll
to
have
doing
some
these
more
every
substance.
week with you guys.
Maybe
Hopefully we'll have
games
some
that
more
are
substance
actually
and
matter.
maybe break through some games that are actually matter.
Thanks for
Than
watching.
some PC releases. But
So-
thanks for watching.
So for the sex segment, for the second segment, we're still recovering from the sodas from last week. We thought about ingesting some of the horrible stuff, but I think that the ranch it's still coming out my anus. So instead, we're gonna do something that doesn't
We're gonna do something it doesn't.
ranch soda.
Ranch
Yeah,
soda.
you weren't-
Ranch soda.
Oh, okay. I was thinking to myself,
No, actually, we were gonna toss each other salads today.
Actually,
but
we were gonna
couldn't
toss
get
each
enough
other
ranch.
salads
So,
today, but
so instead,
That would never happen.
we're gonna try this beautiful game,
We're gonna try this beautiful game.
and we're gonna have to swap up to
We're gonna have to
a couple of different cameras here. But first, I'm just gonna show it right here. It's called Pixel Tactics 2, and I picked this up when I was in Portland, and it's a bit like basically Final Fantasy Tactics, but you play with cards. So totally getting more technical with stuff. But we're gonna have him describe it. We're gonna set it up right here. You guys can take a look how it's a pretty cool game. We did describe it ahead of time, but I'll do
we did describe
a
it
little bit of
ahead of
description
time,
about
but
how
I'll
it
do
works as
a
we're playing
little
along.
description about how it
So we're
works
gonna
as
swap
we're playing
over to
along.
the
So we're gonna swap
the
over
split
to
laptop
the
camera here, and we're just gonna look at
split
my
laptop
movies.
camera here, and we're just gonna look at my boobies.
So I know we got a lot of flat table here, but we're gonna start out.
So I know we got a lot of
this
flat
card is
table here.
card
But we're
game
gonna
is
start out.
two
So
people
basically,
playing
this card is
start off, you
card
pick
game is
six
two people
cards.
playing against each
Okay.
other. You start off, you
And
pick
let me
6 cards. Okay.
actually see if I
And
can
let me actually see
add
if I
something
can
more than my arm to take a look at.
add
just
something
like
more
that.
than my arm to take a look at.
So you got two people who are gonna two sets of cards.
So you got two people who are gonna choose.
You get six, just like a lot of games. The first thing you do
You get six,
is you
just like
choose
a
a
lot of
hero
games.
out of
The first
those
thing you do
cards.
is you choose a hero out of those cards.
Different
Cards
types of
contain,
soldiers, what they're called heroes.
Different types
and
of
then you have
soldiers, what
your
they're called
central
heroes,
hero.
and then you have
Place
your
them.
central hero.
So they're going to take a little more time than they should to decide.
So they're going to
that.
take a little
Why
more
not
time
do
than they
that?
should to decide that.
Boom.
Why not do it that
My
way?
name- my name is
Boom.
Jaeger.
Pictures of my hands. So my name is Jaeger.
Maybe we'll. Oh, can you see
I
that?
got
Maybe we'll.
the Relic Hunter.
I got
He's using he's actually
the
using
Relic Hunter.
He's
Caesar.
He's actually
Oh,
using
Caesar, sorry.
Chris.
Caesar.
Actually,
Caesar
Chris.
Chris.
Actually, I'm gonna change
I
my
want to say Caesar Greece.
Actually, I'm gonna change my hero.
He's using Jaeger Brentford.
He's using Jaeger.
you're not gonna
No, I'll
use-
use Caesar. He's cool.
Oh, you're not going to
No,
use.
I'll
So
use Caesar. He's cool.
first of all,
So
gonna-
first of all,
put these right there so they're easy to see.
Put these
The
right
game
there
goes
so
in
they're easy
in
to see.
turns.
the game goes in
with
turns.
three different.
And it goes with three different.
You have three different rows. So
You have
first start on
three
the
different
first row,
rows.
which where you
So
put cards
you
here.
first start on the first
So
row,
we
which
might
where you
need to
put
spread
cards
these out
here.
a little bit.
Okay, so we might
See
have
how
to
this
spread
may
these
work.
out a little bit.
But you get two turns.
But you get two turns.
Round, I guess would be the way that you.
Per, I guess,
do it.
round.
Each person
This
can
would be the way
put
that
two
you-
actions. Excuse
you
me.
do it. Each person
So you
put
can
two
either draw a
actions.
card, put a card down.
So you can either
make
draw a
somebody
card,
attack,
put a card down.
So I'm
make
going to let
somebody
them
attack or
choose and
something
see what they're
like
going to do.
that. So I'm going to let them choose and see what they're going to do. We're going to start off with Terry going first. because
I will
he's
play
going
the werewolf card,
I will play
as
the
well
werewolf
as
card.
my mastermind.
As well as
Boom.
my
So Terry's
mastermind.
chosen to, as you can see here, it
So
actually
Terry's
goes in a
chosen
3x3
to, as you can
grid.
see here, it
got
actually
your
goes in a
hero
3x3
in the middle.
grid. So
And then you
got
go
what
up here is called the Vanguard.
And then you go what up here is called the
And he's putting
Vanguard.
two characters up. Now what that does is it
And he's
allows you
putting
to
two
physically
characters
block.
up. Now what that does is it allows you to
your
physically
main hero
block
and the secondary
between
heroes.
your main
Okay?
hero and the secondary heroes. Okay?
So I'll put down the Monster Hunter.
So I'll put
Okay.
down the Monster Hunter. Okay?
And the Diablo.
Diabolist. Okay, so you can see how they've already got a
Okay, so you can see
one-on-one
how they've already got
melee
a
battle going
one-on-one
on here because your character is
melee battle going on here because your character is in the front row can do melee. Your characters in the back row might optionally be able to do ranged attacks.
No, it doesn't matter. Let's go. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. Let's go.
I'm going to see if I can zoom this out a little bit more.
I'm going to see if I
That'll
can
work.
zoom this out a little
So
bit
we've
more.
got
That'll
more
work.
view of the extra cards.
So we've got
Alright.
more of a view of the extra cards.
And then
Alright.
now we did the middle row, so now we're going to do the back
Now
row.
we
So
did the
now
middle
they-
row, so now we're going to do the back
go
row.
one more, so I
Okay,
think
now
you're going
they-
first, right?
Go
Yes.
one more, so I
Okay,
think you're
so
going
let's
so
do the
first,
back
right?
row.
Yes.
Well, I'm in the middle row.
You
You
want
go
to
back
back
row.
row.
Oh, if you have the middle way up, then do that first.
Yes,
if you have the
middle
middle way up, then do that.
So I will.
It's
Exactly. I'll play the Diabolist.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll play the
And
Diabolist.
the Puppeteer.
Okay.
Each turn do we draw cards?
It takes one action to draw a card.
It takes one action to draw a
Go ahead,
card.
Eric.
I think I'm actually going to go ahead and
Sniper and a
draw
draw
a
card.
card.
I think I'm actually a
Sniper
sniper
and
and
a
a draw
I'm
card.
just going to go right above so it's easier to see what's going on.
Right above.
Hit
so
the
it's
action
easier to
up
see
on here.
what's
Try
going
not to get
on. Hit the
nauseous
action
people.
up on here. Try not to get nauseous people.
Did you play your 2 cards, Eric?
I did.
I
I
played
played
two
a card
cards.
and I
I
drew
did.
a card.
I played a card and I drew.
I'm gonna just draw 2 cards for my next turn.
Okay.
draw 2 cards for my next. And I had my turn.
Okay.
So they do one turn
And I
per
had my
row.
turn.
So they
Nobody
do
chose to
one
put-
turn
there
per
we go, Eric's
row.
doing his turn.
Nobody chose to put. Oh, there we go. Eric's doing his turn.
All right, I'm good.
Okay, so this
Alright,
is
I'm
actually
good.
going to make people
Okay,
nauseous.
so
So we're going
this is actually gonna make
right
people
back
nauseous.
over
Whoa!
here.
Whoa! Does anybody remember?
Well, we're pretty old, so go ahead.
Well, we're pretty old, so go
Yeah, I got that, but I didn't want to say anything.
Already on.
So now we've gone through 3 rows. Basically, you've got the vanguard row, the middle row, the back row.
Basically, you've got the
Once we
vanguard
each
row,
have done
the
a
middle
turn
row,
for each
the
one of
back
those, the
row.
round
Once we
ends.
each have done a
What
turn
happens
for
is
each
they
one of those,
actually
the round
switch.
ends.
So now
What
Eric
happens
goes
is they
first.
actually
He goes
switch. So
his
now
first
Eric
row
goes first.
All right,
He goes his first row
so-
first. All right, so
So I can attack with the Diabolist.
I can attack with the Diablo.
You can attack anything in the front row.
You can attack anything in the front row because they're being.
Can
Just
Can I attack somebody from the back row?
Can I
But
attack
not
somebody
this
from
turn.
the
Not
back
this
row?
turn.
But not this turn.
I'm drawing 2 cards. Boom.
I'm drawing 2
Do
cards.
it.
Boom.
Draw those cards.
So
Do
now
it.
it's my turn, huh?
Draw those cards.
Well, I will
now it's my
attack
turn,
with
huh?
my werewolf,
Yep.
and I
Well,
will
I
take
will
on
attack
the
with my
monster
werewolf,
hunter.
and I
as a
will
matter of
take
fact.
on the monster
And let's see,
hunter
makes
as
a
a matter of
melee
fact.
attack.
And
And
let's
attacks
see,
another
makes a
action.
melee
Boom. This is an ability for this guy,
Yeah.
right? So we
This
can
is
make a
an
melee
ability.
attack,
Yeah.
and then
So we can make a
take
melee
another
attack,
action.
and then
Okay.
take another action.
Let's see.
Okay.
He does 3 melee
let's
to
see.
his 5
He
defense. I'll
does
attack him
3
again.
melee
and
to
we're
his
reducing-
You
5
can't
defense.
attack the
I'll
same
again.
thing twice.
We're
Okay,
You
well then I'll
can't
attack the
attack the
Diabolist.
same thing twice.
Okay, well then I'll attack the
Reducing
Diabolist.
his defense down to 0.
Reducing
His defense points have
his
dropped.
defense down to 0.
Well,
So
first
defense
off,
points
well,
have
right
dropped.
away, it doesn't die.
Well, first off,
So
right
wait till
away,
the
it doesn't die. Right? So
turn.
wait till
He's
the
taking
end of
3
the-
damage. So I put a
the
little.
turn. But he's
little
taking 3 damage. So I put a little
thing on
3
there, if you
damage
can see that.
thing on there. If you
Drop
can
that
see
on there.
that.
He will die at the end of the turn.
Drop
Right
it
on.
on
But
there. He
because,
will die at the end of the turn.
Right on.
But because
You can do something else, or was that 2?
That's 2.
You can do something else.
So
or is that 2?
That's
he
two.
takes 3.
So
this one dies.
he takes 3.
It's left there.
This one dies.
So now it's your turn. Now you're in the back.
So now it's your turn, and now you're in the back.
So I'm gonna put
So
down.
I'm gonna put down one.
I should probably check this out before I.
Which, by the way, we're not going to play a whole
Which, by the way,
Yeah, we're just giving
we're not
you
gonna play a whole game.
Just showing you how
Yeah,
to
we're
do
just
it.
Put down
giving you
Relic Hunter. I'm
Just
gonna
showing you how
attack.
to I put down
So
Relic
can I-
Hunter.
with
I'm
the
gonna
sniper,
attack.
can I attack
So
the
can I?
werewolf?
With the
Yeah, so
sniper,
now
can I
what you're
attack
doing
the
is you're
werewolf?
using the.
Yeah, so now what you're doing is you're using
This is
the
a ranged
green
attack.
section
Attack.
because it's
Discard
a
2
werewolf. So
cards.
this is ranged
Destroy.
attack.
damage.
Discard 2 cards to destroy.
So you have
and
to have
hero.
damaged this hero first.
So you have to have damaged this hero first. and then
So
you can do that.
6-3.
So 6-3.
That what you can do because this card's no longer in the way.
That's
So
what you can do
6
because
to
this
that.
card's no longer in the way. So you do 6 to that. We do.
Yeah. So your werewolf will die.
So your werewolf will die.
No, not my werewolf.
Good.
Oh,
Not my werewolf.
If this were an episode,
Oh,
that's how they'd be
If
talking.
this were an episode, you'd be on somebody
Do they have
talking.
any naked vampires?
Do they have any naked
vampires?
I mean, God, I hope so. Because up until now,
God, I
it's
hope so.
it's all
Because up
pixelized
until now, I
nudity.
haven't
But
seen
you know,
it.
when I was
It's
a
all
kid,
pixelized nudity. But
definitely
you know, when I was a kid,
Oh, yeah.
pixelized nudity definitely.
Oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
Tifa Lockhart.
Oh my God, Tifa
I always liked. Oh my
I was
god.
like,
What was that?
That was like
oh
little
my
kid.
god, what is
Oh,
that?
that's what you
I was like,
mean.
okay.
We should have been that young when Final Fantasy 7 came out.
All right, so move on from this. You guys see how it
So
goes.
move
Keep
on
going
from
through
this.
The
You guys
way
see
that
how
it
it
works
goes.
is you
Keep going
basically
through
these
way
two
that it
heroes,
works is
when
you
the main
basically-
heroes die,
These
that
two
person
heroes,
is
when
your
the main
best hero.
heroes die, that
Exactly.
person
So it's pretty cool. I would check it out. If you get an opportunity,
Pretty cool. I would check it
we
out.
might do another
Get
game.
an opportunity.
What?
Let's
We
see that
might
card.
do another game. What?
See the card.
Let's see
Yeah,
that
the
card.
card.
Yeah, let's show the
See the
fans.
card. Get the card.
So there you go. One more time. Pixel
So there you
Tactics
go.
2.
One more time.
There's actually
Pixel
obviously a
Tactics
Pixel
2.
Tactics 1 and 3.
There's actually
that
obviously a
you
Pixel
choose
Tactics
to.
1 and 3 that you just aren't
So
choose.
give that a try. Check it out. We might do a full
Give
video
that
on a
try,
full
check
game
it
later
out.
this week.
You
Just
might
give
do a
it
full
try.
video on a
You
full
know,
game
most of the video game
just
stuff
give
here,
it a
but this
try.
is at least video
Maybe
game
most of
themed.
video
So.
game stuff here, but this is at
Really
least
cool.
video game.
Yeah, I like it a lot actually. I pick it up and play it.
Yeah, I like it a
You guys
lot
lot, actually. I think I'm playing
tactics
tactics
related
video
game or
cards, tactics related video game or card battle,
So,
whatever, man.
The next section of stuff that we wanted to talk about.
The next section
everybody knows what's going on all over the United States. And I think a lot of people already talked about it, so it seems like a lot of people. Although I'm not allowed to talk about it because I'm white. So Terry, why don't you start off by telling me what I'm allowed to talk about, and we'll go.
By telling me what I'm allowed to talk about.
Well, now we're going to tackle a very sore subject with a couple of people, and that's racism in video games. Racism, part of that in video games, spawned by some of the things going on in media. The Ferguson incident. Now, if you have a Facebook, you're going to see like every shooting in the country, whether it's whites on blacks, blacks on whites on blacks, all over the place.
Whites,
it does. It actually does. And a lot of interracial shooting going on on Facebook. And a lot of interracial shooting going on next to those current events. So we're going to kind of bring that down to our topic. We're a video game dedicated site, and gaming has a lot to do with our lives. We're going to talk about some of the issues that have happened in the past. We're going to dig into racism in gaming. We'll just dig into it a little bit. It's going to be causing this issue. It's going to be a full article on the website. What would be our first topic?
So I think Eric, we had gone through and we talked about a couple of different games, and there's a lot of different things that they talk about, like the top 10 most racist games that ever happened. We had some discussion earlier, and actually Mike brought up Resident Evil. Eric brought up Call of Duty at one point, but we kind of talked about that and kind of shuffled after that because it seemed like maybe
It's clear cut.
yeah, it's a little harder to. Somebody could probably make an argument for it, but there was a lot better examples. And the one that he floated on first, and we started talking about was Red Dead Redemption. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
So as far as like talking about this would be, this was a game of the year. This would be, this was a game of the year.
Did you play Red Dead Redemption?
And it's a great game.
No, the newer one.
Original one?
Yeah,
The newer one. Yeah, the
Redemption.
Okay. So maybe you should give us a backstory on what the game is.
Maybe you should give us a backstory on what the game is.
It's a very clear homage to
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, spaghetti westerns.
Spaghetti westerns are called.
Yeah, spaghetti westerns.
Once Upon a Time in the West is in there a lot.
Once Upon a Time in the West. You've never heard the harmonica sound in the back.
Yeah.
You've never heard the harmonica sound in the back.
So it's a lot. It has a lot of that. It has a lot of those Western tropes.
It has a lot of that. It has a lot of those Western
The
tropes
guy
in it,
trying to
where
redeem himself. He's part of
the guy trying to redeem himself.
That's who you play as, and he goes
that's
up
who you
against
play as,
various
and he goes
forces.
up
Takes
against
place
various forces.
in
Forces
something.
meaning people of color?
In forces,
People of color? Not necessarily.
Okay.
People of color.
Not
The
necessarily.
guy he's going up against, I think.
the guy he's going up against, I think is
Bill Williamson. He's white. White
Do they all look like the cheese? Like they have
Do they all look like
facial hair?
Yes. In fact, almost every single one of them look like
almost
the
every single one of them looks like
I know, right?
I know, right?
I wasn't interested before, but I'm getting wet.
I wasn't interested before, but I'm getting wet just thinking about it.
Oh my gosh.
My ears.
Like
It's
ears.
a butthole. Great sandbox game. It takes place. It has a
sandbox
couple
game.
different climates in it that
It
you
has
go
a
through.
couple different
Is it sandbox or is it open world?
Is it sandbox or is it
You build stuff? Okay.
You can't build anything.
So like
It's not like Cowboy Minecraft.
It's like Mike. It's not like Cowboy Minecraft.
No.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Rockstar?
Rockstar.
Rockstar?
Rockstar.
It wasn't Rockstar, developers of the.
I think Rocksteady might be.
No,
Rocksteady?
might be a
I'm
transformer.
thinking of.
Might be a transformer.
No, that's
Or
Ninja Turtles.
no, that's
Are you trolling?
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we are actually. It's definitely Rockstar.
It's definitely Rockstar. It's definitely Rockstar. It's an open world game, so it's definitely Rockstar. It's definitely Rockstar.
It's definitely Rockstar.
Yeah,
Rockstar. It's one of my
developer
favorite
Rockstar.
games.
It's
I'm
one of my
currently playing through it again right now. This is
currently
Despite the racist overtones.
Despite the
racist over.
Despite the racist.
So what about it in particular? If we could
So
move
what
on,
about
did
it
we
in
find it
particular?
racist?
We can move on to that. Did we find it
So
racist?
there are a lot of people of color.
So
in
there are a lot of people of
There
color in
is
there.
one person in
There
particular
is
that
one
comes right to
person in
mind is the
particular
man
that
Irish
comes
that
right
you
to
play
mind is
within the
Irish
game.
that you play.
Irish is
Irish is Irish.
Not sure why we're looking at
It's
my
not
hands
said
here.
in,
but-
like
sure
just
I'm
like
looking
It's
always
not said
Scottish,
in,
but
you
they
know,
call
like
him
in
Irish.
just
There
like
we go.
always Scottish. But
No, he's actually Irish, and
no, he's actually Irish, and
the popular
has
conception or a
the
stereotype
popular
conception of
or a
Irish
stereotype
people is he's a drunk.
conception of Irish
He's
people.
shifty,
He's a drunk.
cheat.
I think the quote there is, "I was real drunk. You know how it is."
I was real drunk. You know how it is.
Yeah,
The-
He's a thief.
I was real drunk, you know.
Yeah,
exactly, and that's even a promotional thing.
Exactly, and that's even a promotion.
That's how he's portrayed. Yes,
that's how he's
it
portrayed.
does take place in
Yes,
the Old West,
it
or
does
so
take
if
place
there
in the
was
Old
like
West,
one
or
Irish
so
person,
if
in
there
town,
was
he would
like
be
one
called
Irish person in
But
town, he would
I
be
mean,
called
if
Irish.
we look at
But
Back to the Future 3, that has a couple of Irish
Back to the Future
characters in
3,
it.
that has a
None of
couple
them
of
are
Irish
drunk.
characters in it.
No, they were just weenies.
They were just
No, they were just weenies.
It was maybe specifically and identifiably Irish.
Specifically and identifiably Irish in different ways.
I like that hat.
So yeah. And I think that we have a video of him where
sure.
this is not actually the first introduction.
This is not actually
third,
the
but second or actually this is the second one.
So if you haven't actually played the game, this will give you kind of an introduction to how it works. And you show up, and I think he's like either boning or trying to bone this young lady with a corset because that's how he
No,
sucks.
this one you just can't find him.
Where are you? Who you bud? I see you. Get away
I mean,
from
that's
me.
like
Right here.
That, it is the cheese. No, that's
Where's that machine gun, Irish?
bartender.
Mr. Marston.
That's absolutely. That's absolutely.
I found you one.
I mean, that's how I feel every morning.
He's always dressed like
Found us one, Irish.
I think he always dressed the
We're
same
in this
way.
together.
So this is what I mean.
You,
Like we talk about
me,
some of these tropes,
and then
I say
assault on
everybody was
Fort
dressed like
Mercer.
shit back then. They were rolling in shit.
I'm the guy that saved you from getting killed back there, and who you owe your life to,
Well,
remember?
everybody who wasn't like
Not really. Happens to me all the time.
they were all like white people with a lot of.
You don't want it to happen to you again, do you, Irish?
No, friend. I wants to
I saw
buy you
several
a
episodes
drink.
when I was 4 years old.
I wants to tell you
Like,
how much you
I
means
don't
to me. How
imagine that people were
special
very
you
clean. Like
is.
you had
And I
to
want
pay
to tell
take a
you
bath.
that if you don't produce a
having
Gatling
access
gun
to
within the
it, even
hour,
if we just look at the
you'll
video
wish
here,
you'd been
not
killed
watch
back
this
there.
rest of it,
It's the whiskey,
Right,
sir.
because he's the main character.
not everybody's dressed like that.
It gives me the memory of a newborn
A
babe.
lot of things
As
are-
innocent as can
they are
be.
dressed like they're afraid of the show. But to be fair, I think that they have gone on their way to making a little more of a show.
And it makes me violently
It's
angry.
supposed to be a drug.
Shall we go look for that gun,
Cut
sir?
off from this video, though. Did you want to show another one, too, or just go from there?
Let's do that.
Well, the second video is the third mission that you have.
Not
with
a fella-
Irish,
the third
and
mission
it's
that you
kind
have
of
with
more of the
Irish,
same.
and
He's
it's
drunk.
kind of more
He's
of the
holding up
same.
a couple
He's
of
drunk.
guns.
He's holding
Okay, well,
up.
maybe we should watch the. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna run in this alley and was it on shaky
Up,
ground?
sister. Put them up.
Irish, what are you doing?
Who the hell are you?
There you are.
Give me that. I'm
This
your
is
old
actually
friend Amnesia.
fairly uncharacteristic of Irish people.
Blimey.
I've come to tell you, if you ever pretend to forget my name or your debt to me again, I'll make sure you reach heaven before these two ladies. Now get down there.
So I should make the point, though, that being 100% Irish myself, and I don't know if this is different. We talk about how transcending color and how different people are going to take different things. I don't find that stuff insulting. I don't find that
What
stuff.
back are you just a mutt? Do you have like a specific back?
Are you just a mutt?
Are you really? Yeah. You're just like perfect.
Are you really?
Mix of various things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very well kempt.
Very well.
Would you like some? Would you like some?
I was waiting for it. And yes.
He takes his dick like he takes his coffee.
Black and a cup.
Yeah,
Black and a cup.
pretty much. Wrapped to go.
So to clarify,
Wrapped to go.
so to clarify, Eric, your
I'm-
your background.
Part Mexican, the better part.
Part Mexican.
And
the
what-
better part.
weirdly enough.
So wait,
I'm like
wasn't that a little
German.
racist
So
against
wait.
German people?
Wasn't that
Against-
racist against
That was a little
The
bit.
better part was Mexican. What's wrong with
That was a
German?
I meant the
part
better
was
part
Mexican,
as
what's
far
wrong
as
with
like
German?
I'm
I meant the
more
better part
my
as far as like
more of
I'm
my
more-
heritage is Mexican.
more of my heritage.
Oh,
is
okay.
the
So
white.
you're more. Okay,
Whitey.
I see.
line.
No, I'm not gonna. I don't have to answer for shit. My people came over after all that slave bullshit.
Shit, my people came over after all that slave.
This is what I'm worried about. I know.
Get out!
Get out!
This whole time, I never even knew why I said it.
This is black white colorblind. That's
Black, white, colorblind.
is that what it is? So we got a couple of other people that you wanted to talk about here. So who do you want to move on to next year? We got
We'll move on
Who do
to
you
next
wanna
more
move on to
characters in
next
the
year?
game.
We'll move on to next more characters in the game. Colonel.
Man, that was good. But there's, you know what? I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, God.
Abraham Reyes. I apologize.
And Abraham.
okay.
Reyes.
So it's a colonel and Abraham Reyes.
Okay, so it's a colonel
plays.
Abraham Reyes.
When you look at the list of,
Is he the most interesting man alive?
Is he the most interesting man alive?
I don't
'Cause he
know
kinda
if he
looks like-
understands. I don't know if he
Get
understands.
I don't always get medals, but when I do, I put them on
I don't
myself.
always get
and kill
medals, but
people.
when I do, I put them on
Colonel
myself.
Allende. Colonel Allende and
Colonel
Abraham Reyes.
Allende.
They're both
Colonel Allende and Abraham Reyes. They're
Mexicans
both,
when you go into the Mexican part
Mexicans when you go into
of
the
the
Mexican Mexican part of the
Mexican part of the game. So it takes place in Mexico.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the part of the game that takes place in Mexico.
The part of the game that
Colonel
takes place
Melende is a dictator.
Colonel Melende is a dictator.
Employs shady people. Burns villages
So this isn't
around.
Cuba, though. This is Mexico.
This isn't Cuba.
Just making sure.
Very Mexico. And then Abraham Reyes is then the freedom fighter, but they're both kind of like the same character.
Okay.
Where they're both kind of womanizing.
Where they're both kind of womanizing. They're both
Trying to figure out where to go
Trying
to
to
parts of
figure out
reality.
where parts of
Yeah,
reality.
exactly. Exactly. Not all some Mexicans are Zorro.
Not all
right?
Some
Not all Mexicans are
One
fucking
Mexican,
Santa
one
Ana.
Mexican is Zorro, the rest of them are hardworking people. Hardworking, nice people.
Hardworking, nice people.
And that's kind of that's kind of what you get presented as far as Mexican characters in the game. Those are the big talking parts. There's a couple other ones in there. There's an idealistic village girl who is would be a positive
Okay.
role model, or not role model, but a positive portrayal of a Mexican. But she's one out of many.
So I'll probably ask this every time we talk about a different
I'll
instance.
probably ask this every time we talk about a
It's
different
studio
instance.
audience looks like they're passing out, so maybe we
Studio
can pick
audience
the pace a little
looks
bit.
like they're
But it is. It's very warm. It's like being in a womb.
It is. It's
Actually,
very.
totally
It's like being in a
comfortable.
womb.
I'm actually totally comfortable. I like it.
So how would you have done it differently? What do you
done
think,
it
given that
differently?
time period,
what do you think,
that they were
given
trying
that
to take
time
over? Given that they were trying to show a
take over,
spaghetti
given that they
western, that
were
was the whole
trying to
point,
show a
right? Was they
spaghetti
wanted it
western.
to
That was
be
the
like
whole
that.
point, right? Was they wanted
How do
it
you
to
think
be
they could
like
have better portrayed Mexicans, taking into account the time period that would have been less insulting to you as a Hispanic?
Not every Mexican from that time period.
Not
was
every
an asshole.
Mexican from that.
I mean,
Was
it's
every
not-
Mexican an asshole?
was
in
every
the
Mexican
game,
an asshole?
pretty much.
Okay.
in the game? Yeah.
Like
every-
you walk
every
around
Mexican.
villagers, or are they not really
You walk
villagers?
around
City
villagers.
people? I
Yeah,
guess they're not.
they catcall you.
Yeah, they catcall you.
So none of them are just honest
some-
people trying to make. So none of them are just honest
Not really.
people trying to
Not
make
really.
the world.
The
really.
ones that you like burn and shoot at.
The ones that you like burn
when you're
and shoot
playing
at
for him.
stuff.
Okay.
When you're playing.
So they exist.
They might be,
Okay.
but they're
So they exist.
might be.
So how is that different than any other
So how is
Rockstar
that
game?
different than any other Rockstar?
So
different at all.
then my question becomes: Is it
Then my
that
question
they should be
becomes,
portraying
is
Mexican
it
people better,
that they
or
should
is
be
it
portraying
that
Mexican
Rockstar
people
Games
better, or
portrays
is it
all
that
people as
Rockstar
assets?
Games
Because I
portrays
played
all people
Grand
as
Theft Auto
assets?
5, I
Because
played Grand Theft Auto 4, I played actually. Infamous is not a Rockstar game, I don't think,
Infamous
but
is
it's
not
very
a Rockstar
similar.
game, I
And every
don't
time
think,
you
but
run into
it's
anybody
very
who's walking
similar.
around a
And every
city,
time
they
you
are
run into
all
anybody who's walking around a
dickholes.
city,
All
they
of the
are
regular
all
NPCs are a bag
All
of
of the
dicks.
regular NPCs
So-
are a bag of dicks.
I think no ton of titles you should focus on the characters that are NPCs, where they try to like give personality to, like in some of those games they have like the super stereotypical gay characters. I think it's got
Yeah,
called
there
Gay
was.
Tony.
The ballad.
Yeah, there was.
There's
The
always
ballad.
going to be somebody. Oh, there you go. And there's always going to be somebody who's they just make it to a huge stereotype. in those
So
games.
Rockstars is infamous for that.
So Rockstars is infamous
So,
for that.
so my question then is that should we be getting rid of that?
Should we
Is
be
that, do you think that we do not add color to our society by making fun of ourselves and taking out those kind of individuals and putting them on the spot and letting them dance a little bit? Like, and I put it that way because it is sort of
I put it that way because it is sort of
that's what it is, right? Like they do that with
That's what it
an
is,
Irish person,
right?
and
Like,
actually
they
the
do that
scene.
with the Irish person.
I'd have to go back to the
And
show,
actually
but the scene
I'd
that
have to go
happens
back to the
before
show,
the
but
first Irish scene
the
we
scene that happens
showed,
before
when
the
you
first
save
Irish
him,
scene we showed,
he's
when you
actually
save
being
him,
dunked in water and
he's
threatened to be
actually
killed by a
being dunked
French
in
guy
water
and a
and
Welsh
threatened
guy,
to
and
be
the
killed
Welsh
by a
guy's
French
called
guy
Welsh,
and a
and the
Welsh
French
guy.
guy's called
The
French.
French guy's called
So
French guy's called French.
I don't know that.
So
I kind of feel like
I
if
don't know
nothing
that-
else,
I kind of feel
they're
like if nothing
they're
else,
static and they're
they're-
consistent
they're
about it.
static
So
and they're
if you make fun of
consistent about
everybody,
it. So
isn't it
If you
okay?
make fun of everybody, isn't it okay?
Well, I believe it depends on the kind of gameplay.
Well, I believe it depends on the kind of gameplay experience you want. If you want it to be super
then you're gonna have
authentic
to
and
break it up a little bit and have
accurate,
people
then you're going to
walk
have to
off
break it up a little bit and have people art walk off the other sides that are more
But
realistic.
if this is what
human
they're going
beings.
for in their title,
But if this is what they're going for in their title, it's entertaining, it's sold really well, it's held one of the best games of its kind that's come out. Everyone I know that's played it loves it. And a lot of things like this kind of melt something in the background. And I think that says something more about the actual player than the people who make the game.
Would we accept a game
Because
that didn't
would we accept a game that didn't have these
stereotypes into these huge, kind of to some people offensive characters as a genuine good game or authentic? Would it make it less
But I think I see that
without
argument
where's the
a lot.
Irish
People
guy?
talk
Where's the Irish guy? Where's the Welsh guy? Where's the
stereotype?
And there's-
the stereotype? Where's somebody
I think that there's something to be said, and this is a larger conversation about the fact that black people, white people, Hispanic people, they all get generalized by the color of their skin, not by the culture. Irish people, if they're put together with Welsh people or Scottish people, would be offended, I think, by the fact that they're lumped together as white people. And then generally speaking, people who are European, oh, they're all white, but there's French, Welsh, German, and they all have to be represented differently, but they're all just considered white people. So if you have a game that has people of these different cultures, somebody might make the argument to say, oh, well, it's just a bunch of white people.
Oh, well, it's just a bunch
What
of
does
white
that mean? Well, we don't take into the fact that there are
What does
different
that
cultures.
mean?
We tend to boil it down, I think,
different cultures there. We
right
tend to
now
boil
in
it down,
society
I
to
think.
skin color.
Right now
and
in
not take
society
into
to
effect
skin color.
or into
And not
the
take
case
into
effect
effect
that there are other
into
cultures
the
within
case
that
effect
are being
that there are
represented
other
across the
cultures
board.
within that that
And
are
I
being
wonder
represented across the board.
how the
Right,
emphasis
and I
currently,
wonder
obviously,
how
what's
the
going on
emphasis
in
currently
society
obviously
right now has an
what's
effect.
going on
What,
in
and
society
Cheese,
right
what do
now
you
has an
think? I
effect.
feel like you're staring off.
Cheese, what do you
just
think?
very
I feel
hard
like
over
you're
there?
staring off. Do you think it's just very hard over there, or what is
What do I think? I don't think that Rockstar's obligated to, when they're creating a game, or any artist is creating a game, I don't think they're obligated to have to make characters that represent a good light of a race or anything like that. I mean, it would be great if they did, but would I be as entertained?
I would like to
I would like to be less entertaining. Just as a different.
I think
it would be just as
I think that it's having characters of color and like characters that are crazy and odd is a lot more entertaining than just having all these characters who represent somebody in a good way. It'd be like watching Sesame Street, but playing a game.
That is in and of itself less racist.
That is in and of itself
It's got
less
some characters
racist.
that are pretty famous.
I just don't think that they're obligated to do it. And Rockstar is known for
They
making
sell a bunch of
crazy
games as a result, so it doesn't.
They sell a bunch of games as a result, so it doesn't even say they are.
I think probably when they were making the game, I mean, I don't know, but like probably when they were making the game, it didn't even occur to them. And then people are going to blow
I
up like
don't
this.
think it did occur to them.
I don't
They
think
knew
it
exactly
did.
what they were doing.
You don't think they knew
They
exactly?
follow a very
Really?
specific
I think
formula.
that's what they
Find a
follow a very
person of color,
specific formula.
make it all about
Find a
their
person of color,
stereotypes, and then throw them
make it
in.
all
Do you want
about
to say a
their
color or do you want to say a person with a
If
specific
you want to say a color, you want to say a
Just talk
person
about
with a
Irish.
specific background.
It would not be called a
Let's talk
person.
about Irish.
If we look at like San Andreas, you got all the black members, Sam Jackson plays a black cop who's corrupt. He plays the last bad guy. He just kind of became the ass.
He plays the last bad guy.
Chase across the city.
Chase across the city.
But do you think they
Like, let's make him black because we want him to
Like,
be.
let's make
Well,
him black.
there's
because we want it to
accidental,
be-
and then
Well,
there's
there's
what
accidental,
Rockstar
and then
does.
there's
And it happens in
what
every
Rockstar
single
does.
game that they do.
And it happens in every
You know,
single.
I would hesitate to say that. Well,
I
they
would
just
I
didn't
would
think
hesitate
about
to
it,
say that.
you know,
they just
after the
didn't
first
think
6
about it,
times.
You know, after the first 6 times.
And
You know.
they have very
They're pretty
yeah.
lowbrow.
Well, if you think about
I
bully,
guess,
but
yeah.
see now
Yeah.
bully,
Well,
bully
think
is
about
about
bully,
it's
but
about
see,
entirely
bully
white
bully
kids.
is
It takes
about
place at
so
a
it's entirely white
private
kids.
across
It takes
private
place at
school
a
and
private
it's
school,
fat
private
white
school,
kid
and it's
going after a bunch of other
fat
kids.
white
Amazing.
kid.
I didn't actually play the storyline, so I couldn't.
I didn't actually play the
I never
storyline,
played
so
it, but how are the
I
like
never
it's all
played it, but
English, right?
how are the like it's all English.
Like in
right?
England?
Yeah.
Oh, that I don't know.
Like
I
in
guess
England?
it's definitely an
Yeah.
English
Oh,
game.
that I don't know. I was like, yes, it's
There's no,
definitely an English game. Okay.
French.
There's no like
or something.
French.
But like you know, you have the different.
But like, you know,
segments
you
of,
have the
like,
different
the Cockney
segments of
English,
like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
you got the
Yeah.
Cockney English. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And
you
super,
did.
the upper class types of
There's
English.
a very upper class. There's a very upper class.
Yeah.
There's a Cockney
Like
English.
what
and
Christian Bale talks when
like
And then Christian
Bale
Bale.
talks when he really gets into it.
he was side.
So I think what Mike's saying is that when they're
So
sitting
I
there
think
making
what
the
Mike's
game,
saying
like
is
how
that
can
when
we
they're
solve
sitting there
it?
making the game,
They probably want to do things that are a little over.
They probably
the
want
top
to do
because
things that
people
are a
find
little
those
over
over the top
the top
things
because people
entertaining and
find
shows
those
and
over the top
sales.
things to be
And what you're,
entertaining and shows
and I don't want to
and
get
what
your
you're-
implications here.
I don't
want
wanna
to implying is you
get your
think
implications
somebody's
here.
sitting in
What
a
you're
room and
implying is
are you
you
saying
think somebody's
let's
sitting
make
in a
something
room and
racist because
are
we're
you
racist
saying,
people?
let's make
Or do you think you're
something
saying
racist 'cause we're
let's
racist
make something
people?
that's
Or do you think you're saying,
insulting to
let's make
people because
something
that's what
that's
people want right
insulting
now.
to people
They
because
like
that's
being
what people
shocked,
want
and so
right
we're
now.
going to use the
They
shock
like
effect
being
on it.
shocked, and so
Which
we're
one of
gonna
those
use
things
the
do you
shock
think it is?
effect.
I wouldn't say
Which one of those
necessarily
things do you
because
think
I
it is?
can't.
I wouldn't say
speak for what
necessarily
their
because I
motivations
can't
are, but I
really
don't
speak
think
for
they're trying
what
to.
Liberals do that a lot.
but I don't think they're trying to. Liberals do that a lot.
You won't really want to get into it there.
Just
I'm
kidding.
not even going to say anything.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
But you know, if you, I don't think they're, but I do think they're kind of going for the shock value. But I do think they're kind of going for the shock value, and it's lazy storytelling. And I do want to contrast this with contrast it with another game of the year. Contrast it with another game of the year. BioShock featured a lot of different ethnic characters, but none of them are defined by their ethnicity.
Which BioShock?
All three.
He's a big fan, by the way. We all are. BioShock's great.
Oh my god, dude.
Wait.
These guys. No, I didn't like
What? Just because of the... Are you trolling or are you sincere?
I'm not trolling. I played it for like.
So it was the gameplay.
BioShock 1?
BioShock 1 original. I was playing it and I was like, man, this game moves slow. It feels stupid and clunky. When I attack people, it didn't feel right. It just felt.
Okay.
Was that for the time, or was that when did you play?
Was that for the
BioShock?
time?
Because the original BioShock did. It was slower. But
The original BioShock did. It was slower.
I played it a couple years after it came out. I think.
I would say, it's on pace for the games of the time.
It's on pace for the games
6
of
or
the
8
time.
years old now.
I would like to hear everyone else's reaction. I would like to hear everyone else's reaction for the first 10 minutes.
First 10 minutes, that was good.
First 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What about the controls? Really? What about the controls?
I like the story enough that I could get past it. Like I fucking hated the Mass Effect control scheme, the mechanics, the combat mechanics, and everything like that. But I stomached it, got past it, and then ended up loving the end of the game. And then Mass Effect 2 is another one. Mass Effect 2 is
BioShock is really about the environment. Like when you're playing it, you get in there and it's all Art Deco and it's under the sea.
It's all Art Deco and it's under the sea.
And each of the games, well, the first two have both kind of take place at Rapture.
Well, the first two have both kind of take place at Rapture.
Exceptionalist, or that's Infinite?
Infinite takes place in Columbia. It deals with exceptionalism. The first one deals with objectivism, and the second one deals with collectivism.
Like getting cool stuff. So it takes place in some really cool worlds.
So it takes place
and as it progresses, I would say 1 and 2 are more classic. Infinite it moves a lot faster, and you can like jump around because you have like a gun. You can like jump around because you have like a gun somewhere else. And it plays a lot like most first-person shooters. It plays a lot like most first-person shooters. I would suggest maybe working in Game Bar, so very easy for you to pick up a controller and give it Infinite. To pick up a controller and give it Infinite. I think you in particular might like the Infinite because it really takes on things like religion and stuff too. Not that you're like specifically anti-religious. Not that you're like specifically anti-religious, but
I'm just gonna look at the game.
Okay. My experience in the first 10 minutes was totally.
So you were gonna comment about
as far as the ethnicity of the characters. You have Chong. I believe her name is Daisy Fitzgerald. She's in the second one.
So this character we have up on the screen here. Tell us about this.
This is Bridget Tenenbaum. She is a German.
Augustina Lende. I haven't missed. That's all right.
No. Bridget Tenenbaum. She is a pivotal character in the whole BioShock mythos, and she is German Jewish.
Right. She was the one who was watching the little.
She's the one who actually created. She's the one who actually created, and then she's the one who tries to get you to save the.
So what's important about her that she's a positive?
Well, she's German and she's Jewish, but she's never defined by either of those ethnicities. She never like screams for a bagel. She never like, hey, you need to save your money. Or she's like, hey,
I feel like that, but being a German scientist isn't that kind of a German scientist? Like if you watch like the Avengers or Captain America, that's what you have. You have a German or an Austrian that I think he's Austrian. I'm not German. I didn't even work there. I'm not German. They're always a scientist. Like if you're German, you have to be a scientist. There's not like a German boxer or.
Well, it's part of it's woven into her backstory. It's woven into her backstory. She was in a concentration camp when she was in a concentration 12 or 14 or something like that. And she ended up working as an assistant for a German scientist who was doing terrible experimentation on Jewish prisoners, but he was a geneticist, and that's where she kind of she hated him. She hated everything he stood for, but that's where she got the taste for science. And when Ryan created Rapture and invited all the smartest people to Rapture, she came there and continued her study. She was a relatively low-level person until she discovered Adam, and developed the Little Sisters.
Well, she's a
positive
representation. Well, she's a positive representation of the contrary representation.
Well, being Jewish and being German is part of it. Bless you.
I can't sneeze once. I can't do it. I've tried my whole life.
One more time.
I keep trying. I'm afraid I'm going to come back out of my little shell here. And I'm afraid I'm going to come back out of my little shell here.
Here's hoping. Get ready.
Job change ninja.
Job change ninja.
All right.
So it's part of her backstory. It's part of what makes her who she is, but it's not. It doesn't define her as a character.
So that's where I don't. And we're going to get into. I think we're going to move on to the second.
We're going to get into. I think we're going to move on to the second.
But I have the same opinion about Resident Evil 5.
I have the same opinion about Resident Evil 5.
The big thing about it is that
the big thing about it is
people talked about Well, Terry, why don't you take this one? You played this game, so
Terry,
I'll give you the opportunity to kind of talk about it.
So, did you want to weigh in? I know you're defending on 5. I can okay. Sure. Well, Resident Evil 5 is the sequel. Well, Resident Evil 5 was the big paradigm shift in the Resident Evil series where it changed from dealing with zombies. It's fine. We'll get to it.
This
I
is
just want
like
to set
the
it up.
South's worst nightmare right here.
All right.
Thank you, Eric. And so you moved on from zombies to parasite-infected people that were still technically alive, so you could shoot them in the leg and they react more intelligently. And this time, instead of happening in some Spanish village in some part of Europe, it's happening in a village in Africa. So you can see a lot of just Africans, not even African American. There's African characters who are infected, and they're going to be the main bad guy for the game. They're your main enemy that you run into. And you play as Chris Redfield, who is a white character. And originally the game was set to be a single-player adventure. But because some of the things that they saw, like black people being viewed as just these monsters and a white man going in and blowing hundreds of them away, which the gameplay is awesome. It's a lot of fun. But some people saw that and thought immediately, okay, this game is super racist. And what they were ignoring was some of the social commentary about some people believe certain viruses are tested out in Africa. Medications are tested in Africa, that Africa is being used as this testing ground for certain biological weapons. And that's kind of the point of the game. It's a biological weapon. The game's called Biohazard in Japan. And a lot of the reaction from the game was a lot of racist things. So there were a lot of changes that were made from the original planning for the game to the final version that we saw. And a lot of people were up and that was a very big deal before the game came out. That was a very big deal before the game came out, which a lot of the previous videos like 2006. Game came out late 2007.
What was so ridiculous. And that's why what was so ridiculous about this game. I believe, Rockstar could be all crazy about their characters and everything, but Capcom isn't like that.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out the racism that exists.
Capcom makes.
I think that.
Street Fighter. Well,
they had DJ. In the Devil May Cry series, there's a guy that's like in the Devil May Cry series, there's a guy that's like a bald guy with that.
Well, see, and that's one of the things that I wonder about. Maybe it's a matter of opinion. I think that racism in itself is not necessarily stereotyping. I don't think if you stereotype somebody, it's racist. Maybe people have taken it there. I think you could say somebody's being stereotyped, and as a result, somebody might feel insulted because of the stereotypes. And my personal opinion is it's our job to overcome those stereotypes. Not everybody's job to go get stereotypes. In a way, they exist because there is some large portion, it's not a majority, but it happens enough that people have a tendency to react to it. So when you talk about Street Fighter, for example,
so when you talk about Street Fighter,
he's this very
you can take Dawson.
Yoga, fire. But the thing about it is,
fire.
Where Skulls, but he whoops a lot of ass. So if you're talking about something that's negative stereotype, something that says that you're actually treating a race as if it's a negative thing, and it is somehow inferior to racist. I don't know about you, but a long dude who can stretch his limbs out with skulls and breathe fucking fire at me does not. I feel very inferior. Now, to be fair, when you talk about Capcom, which is not they use Japanese morality techniques, I suppose, when they make their decisions of what they're going to make. I can tell you, I love Japan, I love the culture, I love the people, but a lot of the way that they as a culture approach humanity, people would find them to be generally a lot more racist than we are. I'm not saying they're racist, I'm just saying that I think a lot of Americans who find their approach to racism to be very close to their heart would find the way they look at things to be very much that way. So you have to take that into account. So if you as a white-looking individual got onto a train in Japan, you would find that you suddenly have about a foot around you, but everybody else is crowded. And people take that as an insult because to us, as Americans, unless you have a space bubble, you have a tendency to kind of be like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's how you get affection. People are like, "I'm just going to close this distance." Like, I'm just somebody says in the conversation, like, "Oh, I have a space bubble." Japanese people feel like you're American, you must need space. And you like shuffle around a lot, you're loud, and they do it because they're trying to be nice. But if somebody tells you you're giving me space because I'm obnoxious, like you're going to see that to be an overgeneralization. You're going to see that they treat that way. When you watch Japanese anime, I can't tell you how many times you watch any anime and every black person has got facial hair. Yo, man! Like, did you ever see Blood, Last Vampire? Did you see the anime that was the movie where she just shows up at the Air Force Base? There's one black dude, and he's a security guard, and he has the biggest fish lips I've ever seen. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Yeah. You should. I wish if I had thought about it ahead of time, I would have queued that up as a video. Because when I watched it, it was so over the top that it could have been part of the Boondocks. Like, it was really. No, I still don't consider that to be specifically racist because I don't think the point of it was for them to say this is why black people are inferior. But I do think that they massively stereotyped all of this, and that a lot of people find stereotypes insulting.
Here's my own personal. Some people might be offended by what they think is wrong. Some people might be offended by what they think is wrong. There's nothing wrong with having stereotypes for entertainment purposes. Things like that. They're fun. They're funny. What it says to have a game like, let's just say Street Fighter, we have a representation of a cross section of society, and each one of the black characters is a huge stereotype. We don't want to be represented like that. We don't necessarily need a huge positive representation for us, but to show us as normal. That's what we want in the background of games. We don't want black people to always be shown as, DJ with the maracas and the Africa smile on, or Balrog saying he got paid every time he wins. We don't want that. We don't want that. We just want to seem like we're just like everybody else. For we consider ourselves to be normal people. But when you see just stereotypes, it's not specifically that guy. Look at him. He's silly, offensive. What it says is that's what you think we are. And we're not like that, and we don't want to be seen as that. And nobody wants to be seen as that's what all of us are like for any race or any group of people, because some of those stereotypes are not necessarily the best way to be seen, positive or negative. Either way, we just want to be seen as normal people.
Like the majority of white.
If I could have, I would have queued up.
That's just my take. That's why it's not the character itself. It's what it says. From the third perspective, like here's us people against the outside. This is playing it. Why would you want the outside? It's like, why would you want all these? This is the only representation of black people or Irish people or Hispanic people. Why can't we have?
So I want
part of that thing where like
show this video real quick.
Every white character, the majority of the white
it's a really short video, but you watch it. It's like the only white guy is Mijani or something like that. I think is what they're called. And I'll go back here and we'll play it one more time. And I know there's a lot of screaming, so I apologize for that. But it's a white blonde girl, and there's actually a storyline background to this. If you go on and read it, she's like they're on vacation with a dickhole boyfriend or something, and they got a bar fight. That's why she was there. So obviously, attractive white women don't live where this place is. That was the first thing I thought of. We'll move back off of that, but.
Originally, when they had sent the first version before release out, she was dragged into a room by a black individual. It got a little flourished in the media because they were like it looked like she was dragged into a room and gang raped by a bunch of black guys. Which play through it, I don't know where they go from one to another. But they do take a symbiote. The symbiote actually looks like a little brain. The symbiote actually looks like a little brain. That's how you do it.
They hold men and women down. They're not
They hold men and women. But before release, because somebody said something, they actually changed the color of that one character, dragging her into the room to the room. And I'm curious about, maybe even from your opinion what you saw there. Like, what do you think about changing that? Maybe making a decision for your audience versus what's good, what's bad. What do you think about that?
I don't think they should have done that at all. I don't think they should have done that at all. Because I think the whole mess that people were making about before the game even came out was ridiculous. I don't think that they had thought that at all about the game. Like that, I think that kind of period. Like that, I think that kind of.
So you think that it wasn't justified even from
it wasn't
from a
justified
financial
even
perspective to say, hey,
from
like,
a
there
financial
might be some people who are offended,
perspective,
and we want people to buy the game, so we're going to make a decision to turn the game.
I think we're going to make a decision to turn the change.
I think they should stand by their product. I can understand the money side of things. I can understand the money side of things. But to me, a game is not like other things that you sell. It's gaming and art is an art. It is an art. Artists create a little bit more freedom, and it gives you a little bit more freedom to do things with it.
Okay. I know you got something to say.
I was just saying games are art.
I was saying earlier, I don't think games are art. I don't think games are art.
You don't think
Because
so?
I feel like once you give something art,
you give it this special status that you
But that's just my opinion. I think they made it. I like their decision.
I think they made it. I like their decision.
I don't know. I think if you're going to sit on one side and you're going to say,
I think if you're going to sit on
I
one
don't
side
think
and
that they should have to bow to something.
They should have to
Then,
bow
but
to
you're also
something.
going to say
Then
that they should be able to do whatever they want to.
That they should be able to do whatever
Because they shouldn't have to worry about it.
Because they shouldn't
either
have to
are worried
worry
about
about
it
it,
or they aren't.
They either
And if
are worried about it
they're
or they
changing it
aren't.
because they
If
think
they are
it'll get
worried
them a
about it,
couple
then
sales.
changing it because they think it'll get them a couple
From a
sales.
capitalist perspective, I think it's totally just.
From a capitalist perspective, I think it's totally.
Well, that's what they are. They're a business, and they're going to do that.
Right.
If it were me, and I had that kind of money and power, I wouldn't let it.
I mean, that's what the president of Chick-fil-A said.
Just make a statement. Just make a statement and go, this is not what it is, guys. Sorry, we're making the game
There's
like
that.
this. Have some balls.
There's that.
I think the decision was made solely for profit.
I think the decision was made solely for
overall,
profit.
if you're going to be a business, you're in it to make
overall,
money.
if you're going to be a
And
business,
did it
you're in it
change
to
the
make
gameplay
money.
experience?
And did it change the gameplay experience or take away from me? I don't know. I didn't get to play the original Resident 5 games that are making them. Just Chris Redfield, no Sheva.
I like Sheva. I thought she was super cool.
I like
They just
Sheva.
added her for no reason.
I like
Even
Sheva.
when they put her in the whole Hijabi outfit and turned her into a tribal person. Oh
Oh
yeah, I didn't actually get that in here.
Oh, yeah, we didn't
No, I didn't have
actually
time
get
when we
that
were setting up to do that. But
I didn't have
do you want to go into that because
Do you want to go into that?
At some
Because
point around
I
halfway
learned
through the
something
game,
today.
At some point around halfway through the game,
the,
you no longer are dealing with the
village enemies who use like pitchforks and
village
scythes,
enemies
throw
who
stuff
use
at
like
you.
pitchforks and
And
scythes
some of
and
them
throw
even
stuff
use
at
rudimentary
you,
machine
and
guns
some of them
and
even use
because they're still
rudimentary
people.
machine guns and whatnot.
Yeah, they
Because
still have
they're
their minds
people.
together. They have like AK.
Yeah, they still have their minds together. They have like AK-47s, but they're not super accurate or whatever.
Because black people can't shoot.
Right all over.
Well, when they got parasites in them, they can.
Well, when they got parasites in them, they can.
Well, when you're mowing them down, they're trying to run away. They don't.
Well, when you're mowing them down, they're trying to run away. They don't
Well, that's not.
No, they were charging you, so you gotta shoot them.
No, they were charging you, so you gotta shoot them.
Man, could you say that again? What did you
They
say?
were charging you, so you have to shoot
What did you
them.
They were
Okay, I just
charging
want to
you,
make
so
sure
you
that's
have
what you said.
I like to
Okay,
shoot
I
them
just
in the
wanna
leg
make sure
though,
that's
and
what you
melee
said.
them out
I like
while
to
they're
shoot them in the
down.
leg though, and then melee them out while they're down.
Rules to live by.
Anyway,
If you're playing mercenary, you get more time that way.
if you're playing mercenary, you get more time that way. Anyway, they reward you for it.
Halfway through the
This
game,
is where the
you
two of us
leave-
over here just stop
Halfway
talking.
through
This
the
is
game,
why
you
the
leave
two of us
it
over
very
here
much.
just stop talking.
Halfway through the game,
Thank
you
you very
leave
much.
the village and
Halfway
you hop
through
on
the game,
speed
you
about
leave
head
the
out to
village and you
marshlands.
hop on speed
We run
about
into
head
a
out
new
to
kind of enemy.
marshlands.
Now the old
We
enemies,
run into a new
they would
kind
work
of
together and
enemy. The old
knock out
enemies,
windows and kind of
they
like
would work
coordinate,
together
talk
and
to
knock
each
out
other.
windows and
Now
kind
you
of
fight
coordinate, talk to each other.
aboriginal enemies,
Now
guys
you
who are
fight
literally
aboriginal
covered in like
enemies,
bones,
guys who are
and
literally
that's all they wear.
covered in
Like
like
next to nothing,
bones,
and they
and
carry
that's all they wear
big
is
wooden
like next to
shields
nothing, and they
and
carry
spears.
big wooden shields. and
They
spears.
literally have enemies that throw spears at you.
They literally
for
have
like
enemies that throw spears
a
at
good
you
solid
for
30%
like
of the game,
a
and then you
good
mostly
solid
fight
30% of the
bosses
game,
after that.
and then you mostly
But
fight hunters.
these
and other bosses after
Manginis
that.
are
But
they wear like
these
bone helmets
Manginis
and whatnot, they wear like phone helmets. It's kind of like okay, well, it's kind of like okay, well, some people thought that was a little offensive. Some people thought that was.
I learned that today. I didn't even know that.
I thought it was today. I didn't even know that. Oh, that's a word. Spirit trucker is offensive term that they once said about. So they put him in the game, and I don't think the Japanese program. And I don't think the Japanese program.
I learned that today.
I don't think the programmers. I think that's. I don't think the programmers knew that. I think that's fine. It was funny to me to see them do that and have no idea how some people do that and have no idea how.
It's part of this conception that all of Africa.
It's part of this conception that all of Africa is just one big
goddamn big cities.
There's pretty goddamn big cities.
Well, I think the point of the game was they wouldn't test out. I think the point of the game was they wouldn't test out those big cities.
Yeah, they tried that in Raccoon City.
Yeah, they tried that in Raccoon City.
Exactly. And after you beat the game, there's certain rewards like other costumes. After you beat the game, there's certain rewards like other costumes. And Chris wears a safari costume. And Sheva gets a stripped down costume. And Sheva gets a stripped down costume. She's the female lead of the game. She's the third person who happen to be mostly black. Villagers who happen to be mostly black. It's peppered in some dudes too. Hispanic tone down some dudes too. But you play as literally African Sheva. She strips down just like literally African Sheva. And she strips down just like a bikini. And she looks like an average. She's got the tattoos on it that are like
white. She's super hot.
She's super hot. Some people found that to be very attractive. Some people found that supposed to be appeasing some of us making changes. You're supposed to be appeasing some of us making changes. Like having stripped down the next to nothing. Like having her stripped down the next to nothing. Me personally, I didn't find that video very offensive. Me personally, I didn't find that video very offensive because I'm probably because of the guy. I thought it was great to see another female character that's modeled looking of a female character. So I think sex sold oversold. So I think sex sold oversold. But I think they should have left the game the way it was. But I think they should have left the game the way it was too. It would have been cool to play just what they were going for originally. But I think the changes, even though it was somewhat better, even though it was somewhat critically planned and somewhat loved by fans.
What if they had a switch with opposite mode?
What if they had a switch with opposite mode?
They could have the fluffy accessibility mode where if you go to a place that's mostly a culture of people of color, mostly a culture of people of color, then you could hit a switch and they all become white.
I think there's probably a PC mod out there for.
I think there's probably a PC mod out there.
Would
you like that? No, like let's say the next Resident Evil takes place in Korea. Let's say the next Resident Evil takes place in Korea, but because I don't want to kill Korea, so you can hit an option and it'll turn them all to white people. Killing white people.
As long as they have like as long as they have talking like yokels and shit like that.
Oh my god.
Talking like yokels and shit like that.
Actually, I would love to have
just to place this out.
All right, so we got one more to talk about, and we'll let everybody go here because we get a little wordy up in here. The last one is this.
Well,
from Deus Ex. I love this game.
If it ain't the
Anybody who
captain
played this and saw
himself,
this,
Mr. Seraph
stuck out to
fixed
me.
you up
And I showed this
good,
to you
ain't
guys
he?
in the beginning.
Give you new set of glasses and
I apologize,
everything.
Mike, if you don't like Deus Ex, then you can't really
How you doing, Letitia?
I'll start it and I'll stop it again, and I will read some of this to
anytime
you
soon.
as we go.
That's for sure. Not after what happened 6 months.
Pop back in one more time, and you can hear that again. It starts off with.
Well,
shit, it ain't the captain himself. Mr. Santa fix you up good, ain't he? Give you a new set of glasses and everything. Damn.
Give you a new set of glasses and everything.
Now, I should also mention that this was clearly directed by a
Didn't think I'd see you
But I was listening
on
to this
Boulevard
despite the fact
anytime
that there's this
soon.
almost...
That's for
She
sure.
looks like she's in a nice sweater.
Not after what happened 6 months ago. People said you was down for the count.
People tend to underestimate me.
So there's some people who brought
You
this
and me
up. They're
both,
like, this is the
Captain.
future.
You
We're
and me
still
both.
black people
Got any credit? You
Now, I'm with you usually. I'm kind of like, this stuff doesn't bother me. But this just seemed out of place to me. Like,
yeah, the guy's literally a cyborg, and you still have this cyborg.
Yeah, you've got what seems to be transgender black people from the 20s who still have a speech impediment.
Who still have a speech impediment.
I've never played it.
Yeah, Deus Ex.
So Cyberpunk doesn't.
Deus Ex.
So Cyberpunk doesn't generally have stuff.
So it was super out of place. Yeah.
So it was really super out of place.
So even when you were so now when I was like I don't.
When I was like, I don't.
There could
You know what would be fucking hilarious? Or would we put a stereotypical black person? Like somebody was like, that sounds like a good idea.
Well, again, this was a Square Enix game, so it's a Japanese. Again, I don't think the Japanese people know that people in America find some of that stuff to be offensive. I honestly, you'd have a hard time making
the same argument for me that you had. We're going to swap cameras here real quick. Making the same argument for me that, well, hold on one second. We're going to get someone to take the camera and put it over there. We lost that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to just stick that on top. We got a backup camera. We lost some stuff.
Can you pull it back some? That'd be great.
Yeah, I know. You could just stick it on top of that.
All right.
One of these days, we're finally going to have the studio. Also, that's perfect. That's not going to work.
Not good. All right.
All right, we'll just leave it there. Everybody scoot in.
Scoot in.
Scoot in.
Scoot in.
All right, classic.
It wouldn't be an old dirty gamers if something didn't go wrong. Smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah, it happens every time. No matter how much money you spend, it's just happening. So anyway, that's fine. You got the jinx of it. I don't the jinx. The just the jinx of it. I can't even talk anymore. It's still. So what do we come away with this from today? Do you think?
I'd like to get a final thought from everybody.
Okay. Well, I think I know what your final thought is.
What?
I don't actually.
Nobody knows.
No. Video games are all racist. Stop being racist.
I didn't say all video games. I like Bioshock. It's not racist.
No?
Or when it portrays racism, it's actually commenting on racism.
Okay. I think it's got a really prejudiced look of white people in the 20s.
It's the same kind of thing that I think about all stories in general. Like, let's stop doing the easy bullshit thing where we make characters who are stereotypes because we're fucking lazy, and let's start making some actual nuanced characters in there. And if you have a black character in there, they don't need to be talking jive. They don't need to be
talking jive.
Talking jive.
What does jive even sound like?
I don't know. I never saw Airplane.
It's an airplane.
I've seen Airplane.
I just want to see if I can. That old white woman could talk like it really well.
He wants you to talk jive.
Yeah, so you're talking.
Look into the camera and talk.
We should all try to talk in a stereotypical way.
I'm just trying to talk the facts, Jack.
Is that the best you got?
That was the best I got. Sorry.
Man, you sweet as sunshine pies. Let me tell you what, man. He's all 7s, 8s, 8s in his pack, boy. You ain't got a straight flush over here. I tell you what.
I don't even know what's happening.
That was fucking amazing. All right. I'm glad I was here for that.
I don't. My opinion is, I just think. I mean, everybody expects this from me now, but I just think people should do whatever's going to sell the most games. Like I don't really think that people are out to insult people. It's not really good for business. I think you could be sensitive to sensitivities if you want to, and if you don't, it's going to affect your sales. Like I don't really worry about it. I think that, for my opinion, that there are some overly sensitive people out there, maybe, and that maybe they need to stop being so sensitive and to say, it's kind of like when you're in a relationship with somebody and somebody says something, and you've been dating them or married to them for years, and they say it, and it insults you, it takes you aback, and you're like, what did you just say? And then you have that weird pause where they're like, I don't know, what did I just say that offended you? And they look taken aback because they don't understand what's going on, because they didn't mean to offend you. And so it's better to take the presumption with people in a relationship that they're not trying to insult you all the time, or they wouldn't be with you, and they wouldn't love you, they wouldn't want to be around. And I feel like that's how most people think. I don't think that their intention is to insult people. And so if you dictate your life and you act as an individual who doesn't presume that everybody's trying to insult you on purpose, then maybe you'll take stuff a little less seriously. But
I could speak more about that, but
I'm sure you would. But we're going to go Terry's.
Well, before we go to me, I want to hear your best,
oh my God.
Your best, Mexican accent. Not Spanish, Mexican.
Mexican?
This guy.
Me?
Yeah, yeah. You did jive. You gotta do one too.
Wow.
Here we go.
Be like, Orale.
Orale, cabrones! El gato es en mi pantalones? I don't do.
You know, is that as good as it gets?
That's about. I don't.
I mean, that was a little bit of white Spanish, but
I don't know.
Hey, you're half Mexican. What do you think? Let's hear your Mexican accent.
I don't know. I guess you would talk like this or something. Like,
oh my God, yes.
There you go.
Hey, man, I was going to cook your food for you today, but, I got in a little late. I do what I could, but then the pilot light went out, and I was like, whatever. I feel like now I fucking be smoking some weed. It's like just coming out like Cheech Marin, but that's all I got.
My sides.
Like
that's my Cheech Marin, yeah, that's all I got.
Nice. Thanks, man. Thanks for chiming in on that.
Anything I could do.
And Terry's final thought, similar to Jerry's final thought. I think that the industry should make games that are going to sell, but not stifle creativity, but be respectful of the audience of those games. I think some changes are needed, but as long as it doesn't take away from the gameplay, it's fine to make changes to make it more accessible to people who aren't white males. We're looking at a majority of playable characters that are you're forced to play as, or Nathan Drake, or whatever have you, fucking the guy from Last of Us, they're always going to be these white guys. And it just would be nice to have them be a Hispanic male lead or an Asian male lead would be nice.
That would have been a great game, actually, to have like a black male lead.
Perfect game for it. Without focusing on the fact.
Yeah.
Will Smith, but don't get me started on Will Smith, by the way.
Well, he already did that. He did I Am Legend, right?
You shouldn't have said that, man.
Why?
Because now I got a fact I got to drop. For all of you who don't
shit.
know.
Okay.
I look up entertainment facts all the time, especially when I'm writing articles. And one of them was about the top 100 grossing science fiction films of all time.
Okay.
91 of those films are starring white males or white females. And then the other 9, 1 stars Hispanic and the other 8 star African American lead. All of those African American leads were Will Smith. Will Smith is in all of the top 100 science fiction films of all time. He is leading them.
What if Will Smith was in the new Star Wars movie? He played the son of...
It would probably sell pretty... It's going to be Star Wars. It's going to sell well anyway. But my point on that is...
He's like one of the only black people in America, though, isn't he? He gets jiggy with it.
Are you not Will Smith?
I'm Will Smith. We're all Will Smith.
We're all Will Smith.
I'm more Denzel, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
he does make me get the vapors.
Last time I told somebody I sounded like Denzel, they said they gave me the N-word. They're like, you're not Denzel. That sounds like a nigga.
Do you know...
This was while playing Destiny, by the way. It's all in the article.
Do you know what my first exposure to Denzel was? It was Virtuosity. And I will forever have that, who wants dark meat soon, like, where he comes down there and he, like, beats the crap out of that dude, and he's like, everybody else wants some. And
that movie didn't make the top 100 for high
too bad. That's actually a great movie.
Didn't make it. I like it. But I got a little off topic. But what I'm going to say on that is, until the consumers demand a more diverse characters to play as far as lead characters and less stereotypes, there really is going to be much change to that side. But I think creativity, just to be more creative, to make more creative characters, you got to start branching out. You got to try some new things. Even if it's just their positive role model in the game. Like, let's say you're playing Uncharted. What if Sully was a black guy who adopted him instead of an older white guy? He could keep his exact same personality at work. Sure. I know older black guys are just like Sully, that are named Sully, but not Sullivan, just Sully. Anyways, my final take is, let's mix it up. I don't think that racism in gaming is ever going to completely go away, and I don't think it's necessarily racist to have stereotypes, but I think what it says is we're not going to portray normal black people. We'll just do what sells, which is stereotypes. That's all
I have 2 questions. First off, you're going to have to do your best Irish accent now.
So
Secondly, so if to the left over here is games are so racist, that I'm sure you've read a couple of those articles where they're like,
games are so
it's
racist.
rampant, it's terrible. It's rampant and it's terrible, and everybody needs to fix things now. And then the other side, which, and maybe I'd put myself like right here, the other side, which is like, shut the fuck up, you whiny bitches. Which maybe...
I think that's more like where I'm at.
I think we're right.
We could do this. Are you right where you're sitting, or where do you think you should be
on that scale?
As are most things, I tend to fall kind of in the middle, because I find some things to be offensive, but I also enjoy the games that are just... that don't have any offensive or don't star any black characters whatsoever.
So we just swapped seats, we would almost be...
We'd almost be right there. I
all
fall
the way down
almost
the line.
right in the
We
middle.
have jackass to whiny liberal, like all the way.
I want more diversity,
Okay.
but I don't want my games to become less quality because they're focusing on issues outside of making a good game.
Fair assessment.
I want more diversity, but I also want good games. Can we just do both? Is that possible, America?
About
you tell
time,
me.
man.
Irish accent.
Irish accent. Jesus Christ.
Or German.
If it sounds Scottish, it's going to be so offensive to some people.
And not to me, Irish people don't get offended by shit, so...
Fuck do the Irish sound like? Oh my gosh. I'll keep
Want me to
thinking.
prime you?
I just keep thinking of
Prime
lines
you?
from the Leprechaun series. That's Irish, right?
Do you want me to prime you a little bit?
I want me gold. That's like
I want me gold. That was like pirate. Fire! All the Irish you sounded like.
Rainbows and blue moons.
Yeah,
You know?
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. They're
All right.
magically delicious.
Cheese, do you want to... I guess we kind of got where you're at on it, but do you want to give us
Oh my
a
God.
rundown, and then we'll...
I think that people should calm the hell down. Racism exists. It's not going to go away. It's not really, in my opinion, it's not really in video games that much at all anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen racist games.
There was a couple we didn't even get around to
I
telling
had
about.
a discussion the other day
Little
about
easy
a
targets.
pinball machine that was over 50 years old that has some imagery on it that was on that end of racist. And I just don't see it in games anymore. And I think that if it were in games, people should just lighten up. I think in general, these companies, $1 million companies or whatever, they're not making games that are racist. Are you kidding me? They're not doing that.
On purpose.
Yeah, not on purpose at all.
Okay.
And I'd rather have. I'm the kind of guy who wants to see some crazy stuff come out, anyways. I want to see some stuff that pushes the boundaries, and I want to see. That's the kind of guy I am. I like to watch movies that are crazy. I like to play games that are crazy. I don't want to play a game that's normal,
Right.
or regular.
Whitewashed. No pun intended.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, guys.
No, I definitely agree with everybody here. I think we said some good things here today.
All right, guys.
You want my thing?
Yeah, I do.
My
What should we have him do?
I'll do Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what country?
Oh,
what country? What country?
Man.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, so you want to go and get some a spicy tentacle to eat for dinner?
Why?
Jesus Christ.
Now, on that note, we're going to sign out. Thanks, Old Dirty Gamers. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Before we cut off, we should title this one. What's it? Let me do the title.
Okay.
Old Dirty Gamers, episode
Race Wars?
4. Oh, Card Wars.
Woo! All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.